Getting your knees. Brent?
No, I'm Brent.
I'm Jordan.
Jordan.
Brent. Jordan.
Okay. I was texting you.
Yes.
I was not texting you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing a little double dip.
I'm tracking now. You
Yeah.
did like the switch up on me.
Well, I shaved a beard, so anything that you would...
Yeah, dude, your profile picture is
crazy.
not you now. It is like, and you had a serious beard, like
Yeah.
Serious beard, yeah. I need to get some new headshot stuff.
Yeah.
you do not have a beard. Oh, you have a beard. You
I got a
have
little,
yeah.
scruff. Yeah.
So Jordan,
Jordan.
last name.
Waller.
Jordan Waller.
Yeah.
Not-
Actually, I DM'd you, well, it had to be like a year ago. I was at Soundcheck for the first time, and you were doing an interview with Shure. And I like a little podcast thing, and I walked by maybe it was like a year and a half ago, honestly now.
Really?
Maybe a little longer. But it was like the old Soundcheck building.
Yeah?
And it was the first time I was doing rehearsals there. Just moved to Nashville and everything, and
Is that where you live?
I live in Nashville, yeah.
How's it in
So-
Nashville? How long you been there?
Just 2 years, just over 2 years.
Yeah.
So from Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, you're one of those.
yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You got to do like your own little community. You have your own little army. And my question is, are you guys purposely just trying to infiltrate and take over everything?
Yeah, 100%. No, I think the funniest part about being from Canada is that it's so much harder for us to get into the industry in the US. And so
Harder than...
I think just because like we have to have visas and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff to do it, you got to want it. So it's like for me, I was working with a lot of the bigger Canadian country artists and just got to a point where there's just not enough work to
Yeah.
be consistent in Canada without jumping from artist to artist and never knowing when that next gig is coming. So I'd be like busy summer and the fall is just wide open and you're just
Yeah.
hoping that the next thing comes. So for me, it was just kind of like, if this is what I want to do, then I got to take a leap and see what happens. And a girl I was dating at the time got an 01 and she's a makeup artist and she was like, I'm moving down. And I was like, okay, I'm down. And so I moved with no visas, just literally like existed in Nashville for a little bit and flying back to Canada to work. So I couldn't work in the US, making no money, just going back, doing gigs with a few Canadian artists, and ended up meeting Josh, who I work for now, and he was just, the journey of getting onto this gig was actually pretty insane.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear the story.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
I met him back in 2021. I just started touring, and we met at a festival very briefly, and he was the opener of the day. I was mixing direct support.
Okay.
This is like during COVID.
Who was direct support?
His name's Tyler Joe Miller.
Okay.
So he was the artist that I came up with. I actually played drums for him right out of high school, like 2013.
Another failed musician.
Yeah,
Let's go.
100%. And he put out a song in 2019. It went #1 in Canada. He just started blowing up. Calls me one day, says, "Do you want to do front of house?" I was producing out of a home studio at the time. I was not touring at all. And I had mixed, we go way back, I was mixing in the church world. So I was front of house at a church in Vancouver, and then moved into music directing and playing guitar on stage and doing all that stuff. I grew up as a guitar player, drummer, all like got into mixing, the whole thing. So I just kind of was obsessed with music my whole life. And then mixing was the thing that took over. I just cared way too much about trying to make things sound good. So then that led me to doing good work in the church. And then Tyler Joe Miller, who I was with, he was a singer at the church. And so we had worked together for years. And then when he went country, he did his thing. He called me up one day and said, "Hey, do you want to do front of house for me?" And I was like, "Sure, let's do it." And so first show with him was at a thing called Calgary Stampede. The stage is called Nashville North, and it was like 5,000 people. We were opening, no sound check, throw and go, SE48, and just gave her, everything worked. It was the scariest day of my life. And then, so things started to pick up from there. I was direct support with Tyler Joe Miller. Met Josh that day. He was the opener of the festival, and that was kind of it. And then when I moved to Nashville, he had been kind of blowing up in Canada, and moved to Nashville and met him through my girlfriend at the time. She took us to his album release at Old Red on Broadway, and got to meet like him again and his whole team and management and everything. And I was kind of talking to his main, like the owner of the management company, and trying to find a way to see if there was any work there maybe. And Josh was kind of the person that I was thinking was at the right level for me to jump in if I was to kind of make my way into the industry. And so basically the guy's name is Chief, and I had texted him, and because I had a buddy who knew him, and it was just kind of like, hey, we'll chat at some point, and nothing ever came from it. And then I just said, like, one day if I'm in the same room as him, we'll have a chat and we'll see what happens, And so that day I was in the same room as him. We chatted. He was like, hit me up. I got so much work in the fall, like all this stuff. And I was like, awesome. So like 2 days later, I hit him up and he was like, remind me who you are again. And I was like, okay. So I texted him, we get on a call. He's like, send me your resume and we'll see what's up. I send him my resume, and at the time I was living in Midtown in Nashville. I walked across the street to this bar called Red Door, and as I'm walking in, Josh and I both just walked to the bar at the same time, run into each other.
Just so happens to, or
yes.
You guys are?
No, like literally out of the blue, and I just was like, dude, can I buy you a drink? And we started chatting, and I'd just come off a tour. He was like, what are you up to? And I was like, I'm just trying to find what's next. I want to do bigger stuff, and I was kind of doing like bigger festivals in Canada, but like all the tours were like small, like even smaller than this venue, to be honest. And so basically he was like, send me some mixes, like some board tapes and stuff, and let's go from there and see what's up. They were looking to make a change in their front of house, and so then I sent him some stuff, didn't hear anything from him for about a month and a half, and I was in Quebec on another show, and he called me out of the blue and said, can you start next week? And I said no, because I didn't have a visa for him. I was booked all summer with other artists. I was booked with Tyler Joe Miller and an artist called the Reclaws. And so they were like, okay, well, is there a time frame that works? And I was like, I'll talk to these people and see, because my thing is like, I'll never just leave a gig for another gig without some leeway time. And just like, your reputation is everything in this industry, and burning bridges doesn't help you in the long run.
Smart.
So that was kind of the thing, and they had a show at Calgary Stampede, Nashville North Stage. They were headlining. I knew who the opener was, and they had originally asked me to mix them. Then they told me that they were using Josh's front of house, so they didn't need me anymore. And then I found out that they were changing Josh's front of house. So I hit them up and said, hey, do you still need somebody on the show? And they were like, we just found out that we do need somebody. And I was already gonna be there. So I got myself as the opener that day. That way I could meet the crew and just kind of like see if this is gonna be a good fit. They brought out kind of a younger guy on the gig. Some things fell apart in their set, and I ended up having to jump in on an SD7 and pull the mix out for them, and that kind of secured me on the gig. So it was a wild turn of events.
You know what I love about that story? You were intentional with everything, and you weren't just going to sit back and just send out some resumes. You saw what you wanted, and you were willing to go the extra mile to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's that whole, I was just talking about this, it's the last interview I did actually. It's the, people ask me a lot about how to get involved in the industry, and I think it's really right place, right time, and also having the ability to give them what they need at that time. And that third part is the most controllable part. And also the hang is really like, it's so cool with yours as well. It's like, it's just as much a vibe as it was being good at your craft. And you can be the best at this job ever, but if you're a jerk, nobody wants to work with you.
100%.
That's a really cool story.
It was a wild time, man. It was definitely quite a few years of just like making money at certain times and then not making money for like months, honestly, just to be at the right places at the right time, to build relationships and try to find a way in.
Was there a point where you were kind of questioning, is this the thing to do?
For sure. Especially when I was living in Nashville. I was right before me and my girlfriend broke up, and I was like couch surfing in Nashville, and like I didn't have the right visa yet, and like just trying to figure out like, can I get a place? I'm not really making consistent enough money to be spending a lot. I didn't know a ton of people. Like it was just kind of a really weird time, and that was like summer of 2024, and I landed the Josh gig at the end of the summer. So that whole summer I was just kind of like flying back to Canada, doing shows, coming back to Nashville, sleeping on couches, friends, extra bedrooms, whatever. And it was definitely a moment in time where I was like, is this whole thing even worth it? Like, what, like, do I just go back to Vancouver and work for a sound company locally and, you know, be back with my friends and family who I have a whole life in Vancouver that I'm 32 now. So I moved when I was 29, which is like, in theory, feels a little late in the game to some degree. Not for my life path, but most people make that move when they're a lot younger, I feel like.
What got you through those moments?
I think I just loved doing shows. Like there's something, like, I love the studio, but what it takes for the payoff in the studio is so much longer. Like, it's like we're trying to find the song, we're trying to, you know, the mix and everything, and always loved that. But live, it was just like so exciting to work with an artist that people care about and sing those songs, and to be the person that gets to create that experience for them matters. Like, we were just talking about mix volume and all those kinds of things, and it's like being able to be the person that is delivering that mix, to me, comes with a lot of responsibility. That it's like, yes, I want it to sound the way I want it to sound, and different rooms present different challenges and all those things, but at the end of the day, like, somebody paid their hard-earned money to come see this show, and they love this artist, and if I don't deliver the best possible version of that, like, I've failed, in my opinion. And so that, I just love mixing so much. I literally like have like 3 days off, and I'm itching to do a show again, you know. Even this week we were offered 3 days, not even, and I had my console in my living room with my focals up on my kitchen counter, and was just dove into everything in my mix again, and just like ripped it apart and found my way back. And I just never satisfied. I just love being on the road. I love being with a good crew and doing great shows.
Okay, so I've got people who message me about getting jobs over here in America. I had a guy from like Kenya or something, and he keeps blowing me up. Nice enough guy, but like, I don't have any insight. He kept asking me about getting a visa and who to get that through and how to do it, and is there jobs here. That's so far like outside of my world. I don't even know how to even answer even the decision to come, like, you get work and then come here. Do you come here hoping for work, because then you have to kind of backtrack through there, and you kind of did a thing where you came here and then went back there to work kind of for this. What advice do you have for people that are wanting to be in this industry but are...
It's so challenging, because it also comes back to the question of like, do you come up through a sound company or do you come up through like with meeting artists and stuff like that? And I've come up meeting artists, so my relationship is directly with that artist. Management isn't really in the way of that in any way, versus coming up through a sound company. Sometimes there could be a few people prior to you talking to the artist, you know, like there's just more of a gap. Same thing with visas. I think it's just tough, because if you don't know anybody in the US, then you coming down doesn't really do much for you, in my opinion. It's like, to just show up in Nashville and try to go to Claire and like meet somebody, and like, I mean, I messaged a guy from Claire like 4 years ago asking like, how do I get involved? And they basically just kind of like, unless you're here, like, it's going to be tough to make anything happen, because I was in Canada. Like, they're not just going to give me a visa on a whim. And so, yeah, it is tricky, man. Like, I think that really like building up where you are first, like hone your skills, work hard, and then find your way into meeting people. Like, I mean, Instagram's a crazy tool to start just having conversations with engineers, and not being afraid to ask questions or send mixes and ask for feedback. Or I do it all the time. I send Joey Deal a mix like every couple weeks, just being like, dude, what do you think of this? You know, or like a bunch of different guys. I do that too, because I just want to know. But like, that starts to build some relationship where you can, you know, ask for help or ask for advice or whatever. And so, but I think the biggest thing would be like getting good where you are, and then the opportunities come. I feel like if you just put yourself out there, like if someone told me I was moving to Nashville and touring as a front of house engineer like 6 years ago, like that wasn't even on my radar. It just, so it's like, it was one thing after another. I think, the visa stuff will come. You have to get an O1, you have to have so much like publicity basically, and like buzz around you. Like when they create the O1 process, it's a lot of information, and you have to have your name on things that are like pretty reputable. So with Josh, I was very lucky. He's Canadian. He's on an O1, so I'm on an O2 underneath him. So it gets crazy, dude. It's
Something
like
just clicked for me. No wonder I have so many Canadians reaching out to me and wanting videos.
I mean, I will say it definitely helps. It definitely helps.
It makes sense, and I get to be a part of that.
Yeah. 100%.
Truly.
Yeah. It's definitely
I don't feel
massive
used by any means. Is just to be to help out people who want to be super passionate about this.
Oop, you're good.
You don't need those in ears,
No.
do you? It's such a unique industry because everybody is here because we're passionate about it. We love it. Mm-hmm. I think people overcomplicate it sometimes with getting work. Mm-hmm. What happens when you ask somebody or you're looking to fill a job? The first thing you do is you grab your phone, you go through your people.
Yeah.
And then you ask for references. And so it goes from your circle to bigger circles to bigger circles to bigger circles. And being in and around that circle and being top of mind is also very key to that. And I really appreciate your story because you were strategic and you were intentional with everything that you were doing. I'm not saying that it's all a game, but it's
saying yes to opportunities when they come your way. I think one thing I'm kind of running into these days is younger guys somewhat coming across like they're too good for a gig. And the money's not there and whatever. It's like the money's not there until you create demand for yourself where you deserve to be paid. But like you might have the skill set, but nobody knows who you are yet, and you haven't done enough work to earn that rate. I think there's a bit of a conversation in there that I find where it's like, I just went above and beyond in every gig possible, going to my local shop, getting multi-tracks, prepping. Like even if with this gig, I have a Digico file that is dialed, I will still go into Claire and ask to tip a console and get those multi-tracks through it. And just because I'm always updating what I'm doing, I want to come in sharp every time. When we're on a festival and it's a throw and go, and I only have, 20, 30 minutes in like no sound check, there's so much more I have to do than worry about my mix. I have to worry about everything getting plugged in and being ready to go. And there's a band on stage that, if I can support my monitor guy and making sure that we're just locked in, the last thing I want to do is be like screwing with some compression or something because it's not right. It's like come in prepped, like take the extra time. And like I don't get paid for going into the shop and messing around on a console. Like that's me honing my skills. And I'm lucky that I have the opportunity to go into Claire and sit at a 338 and work on it for the whole day.
Yeah.
Like if I'm demanding that I should be paid for that, like maybe one day, and I hope one day.
It's interesting asking and talking with all these different engineers. You ask them what their most memorable part. A lot of them is that baby band in a van, that moment to where they were wishing they were somewhere else, but those moments are some of the best moments they had. The shared suffering and creates true bonding. And the people, I was talking with this the other day about there's a certain threshold you hit with money that you want that high paycheck, but the stuff that comes with that high paycheck, there's a reason why there's a lot of money there for that. And sometimes it's tough.
Yeah.
The people who are making the $5,000 a day or the crazy amounts, you talk to them and you ask about the things they're doing that's outside of mixing, and there's a lot. And you're also in no-fail situations that the time in the trenches is going to be the make or break that leads you to this point. But I like how you're also enjoying the moment as well. I don't want to forget that there's people who go to work every day to a job they hate. And how blessed am I to be here and to be able to see people's faces. And honestly, no one's going to notice 99% of what we're doing. And the best, I think that how we know we're doing really good is that nobody notices us at all.
Yeah.
But we get to be that conduit from that's just, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it is.
What a cool industry.
It is.
Okay, So you told me about where you're from. You told me
Yeah.
about how you got into tour from Canada over to here. You told me how you got in with him. How long you been with him for?
I'm coming up on 2 years with him.
Okay.
End of August is 2 years,
Okay.
so just over a year and a half, really.
Have you always done country music?
For the most part, I did kind of the stuff that put me on the map, I would say, was started with country, and then I worked for a pop guy. His name was Johnny Orlando.
Okay.
It was actually Zubin, who is the music director for Shawn Mendes, who put me on that gig. There's a funny story in there of how I met him, and such a random, surreal moment, but I followed him on Instagram for years, and he was looking for front of house for this small tour, and my name kept coming up. And he hit me up one day, and I got the tour, and I was sitting in the back of a minivan asking him a million questions, listening to their front of house. Tom at the time was their front of house, and just listening to mixes on Zubin's laptop, like, you know, just trying to get better and better and better. But yeah, I worked for Johnny Orlando. We did Southeast Asia, and we did, my first US run was with him. And then I did a US run with an artist named Powfu, who's like lo-fi hip hop. So I've done a few different things.
Yeah.
Pop is like my main thing. I'm kind of obsessed with pop music. So country, like Josh is a little more pop country than he is like authentic country.
Yeah.
So it's the gig is definitely up my alley for sure.
Any genre you'd really want to mix for?
I think just pop. I think like doing like
You're here, you want to keep doing it.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, like a dream gig for me would probably be like a Sabrina Carpenter or like something in that world where it's just like very gospel-y band,
Yeah.
and just but like super pop vocal, and I love that stuff. So
How has, if it has, you being a musician, do you feel like it affects your mix at all and your look
For
into
sure.
it? Yeah.
I mean, being a drummer and just like chasing a certain drum sound, like Brent, our monitor guy, like I probably annoy the hell out of him, like trying to chase the sounds that I am. And but that and playing guitar, and I was doing all the Ableton stuff before as well. So
Yeah.
I have my hands kind of on this gig. I have my hands a lot. I do all the program, all the MIDI for their guitar changes and this and that.
That's cool.
And so just having the background, I was an artist at one point too. It's kind of a part I left out, but I put out an album and did the whole thing and toured as my own frontman guy thing doing pop. That was like 2016 to 2019. And so having the experience performing and just understanding what I want out of engineers, I feel like for me that's been like my greatest skill set, is knowing like drums what I want, microphones what I want, guitars, like the sound that I'm looking for I can get. Bass, same thing. Like I with these guys, I feel like I work pretty closely with all of them, of like we're just trying to find the right sound so that the mix comes across the right way.
Do you miss it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm so obsessed with mixing that like it's really hard for me to like be on stage.
Do you think you could go and play without like?
I would be wondering what the mix sounds like out front for sure. But there's moments like the band guys have this little thing that they do called Just Recreational, and they're starting to play like bar gigs after the shows and just do
Whoa.
covers. And one of them, they had me come up and play drums on a song, and so it was fun. It's like scratch the itch a little bit.
Dude, that's cool, man.
So.
Huh. Wow, you've done most of it. That's pretty freaking cool. How are we doing with time?
6:30 right now.
6:30 right
And
now.
what's our
Cool.
And doors are when?
Doors are pretty well now.
Okay.
First act's on at 7:30, so we've got like an hour before loud things are happening.
Okay. So let's do this. I wish I had more time. Can we run through a little bit of what you're doing and
Yeah.
how you're doing this
Absolutely.
stuff? I'm gonna grab that camera and like maybe walk through a little
Yeah.
bit of your stuff.
sure.
So I usually do for Patreon and YouTube memberships. This is for them. So if you
Cool.
want to, if you're a Patreon YouTube membership, come hang out with us. If not, if people want to follow you and follow your career, where can they follow you
Yeah.
at?
Instagram, Jordan Waller _.
Yeah.
It is a private account right now,
Ha!
but
Not
I am.
for you. You got to come to a
You
show.
can follow it. You can follow as much as you want. I'm gonna open it back up and not have a private account anymore.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Instagram
Yeah.
is kind of the.
it's the thing.
It's the new website, I think.
Yeah.
Honestly. It's the ultimate networking. If you're not doing it, speaking of networking, I have an app. This is Dela Cruz app. If you want to meet and talk with other industry people on there, they're in there. You can you can apply for a verification badge. You know who's all legit. So go check it out. Let's do this.
Sweet.
All right. I need my jetpack. My jetpack. All right. What are we using? We're using
All right.
an Allen Heath 15. Is a CTI?
CTI 1500.
CTI titanium.
Yeah.
One of my favorite consoles.
is.
Tell me about this. Did you choose this